family.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace, love, and light. This is your brother, Brother Blue, aka Pope Pablo, because it's still Sunday. And I have an amazing guest this evening. We are here back with Know the Ledger 444 on this auspicious Sunday, the day of the blood moon rising. All right, so I'm joined today with a very special and esteemed guest. This is my good brother, Dimensional Tiger. I want you to introduce yourself real quick, good brother, to these good people.
Peace to the family, y'all. We here to give y'all the gifts that we're holding. It's that time. It's undeniable. And we'll do our best to convey that to you tonight so you know how to move forward in this very, very auspicious. That's the word, actually. I realized that. Auspicious time that we're going to go into control.
Yeah, introduce yourself to them, not today's production. They know who I am. I need them to know.
I've been around for a minute, you know. This is something that I've been, some of y'all know me. If I'm brand new to some of the family, I've known Blue since he was probably like 15 years old. You know what I mean? I'm the elder to him. You know, I'm 62 right now. And we're just here to share what we've been holding for a minute because it's that time and the window has opened up. So personally, I do multiple things. I've been teaching Chinese martial arts for over 40 years. I have a health and supplement company, and metaphysics is something that I've been prepared for. I've been given certain information that I feel is key and critical for the family on both health, wealth, and knowledge of self. So I'll share a couple of slides and screens with y'all so y'all get a little more familiar with my organization, which is called CMC Synergy. The CMC stands for Calm, Monks, Calculate. And I want to give y'all
Calm, Monks, Calculate.
Yeah,
And just me saying that brings a calming sense to my spirit. Calm monks calculate, right?
absolutely.
So, in order for a monk to be calculating, you have to be calm. And what does that mean? Control of the parasympathetic nervous system. I've been advocating for that as of lately, via breathing modalities, the importance of knowing whether or not you are engaging in shallow breathing, which almost will make it impossible for you to have a calm monk calculation.
Absolutely. And touching on that, what I'm going to be offering also to the public from the heart are modalities to raise the chi in one system, prana, sexual, magnetic energy, and that's a whole system that connects with some of the things that are being brought to the table, like semen retention for the men and what that means. But a lot of things are incomplete. So you've been holding the semen in, but what are you doing with it and how is it rising? Very, very obscure. I haven't seen it out there, and that's because the knowledge is not available of the specific qigongs and breathing techniques that raise it from the sacral chakra, right? From the sacrum, the sacral bone. And that is actually what is codified in the stories of Excalibur and King Arthur, with the spine being the sword and the stone being the sacral bone.
Hmm.
So
So
there,
you're saying that the actual King Arthur mythos is a parable, if you will, for how the spine is entangled or interwoven into the coccyx bone, where
correct,
the quote
correct,
unquote snake is coiled at.
right. So the seminal fluid that we're talking about initially is the amniotic fluid, and
Yeah.
that's a whole um, body of knowledge. And then the application of said body is where we're lacking. All right. If we're getting an understanding, that's great. But then for me, it's always been about application because I was brought up in fight theories. And if it doesn't work on everybody, you really don't have it. Right. So
Right, right,
you have to be able to apply it. It's not
right, yeah,
knowledge, it's
right,
power. You know the rest.
right. So this is the proverbial difference between knowledge and wisdom. Applied knowledge is wisdom. You got to get out into the field and see, does this actually work? You have to put it to the test, right? And then your understanding is receipts, because now you have something to peruse over. Um, and that's qualified. I'm gonna tell you, I initially was gonna title this program "The Martial Arts of Moon Cycles" or "The Martial Magic of Moon Cycles," and I was gonna get real elaborate with my
It's
title.
fire.
And Spirit was like, shorten it, because I like visuals and things of that nature, but I also love creating terms with these titles, and then marrying it, then landing the plane when we actually pull it off, and they be like, oh, they did that. So the moon cycle, and approaching the moon cycles and understanding, if we will, the variance of these particular cycles is almost tantamount to martial arts. You know what I'm saying? Learning the movements, learning the flows, the ebbs and the flows, right? Understanding that, again, everything even comes with timing, right? Just like with Tai Chi, in order to do something lightning fast, you have to be able to do it, you know, uh, lightning slow, if you will. So, and again, that's having a profound respect for timing, cycles, but also patience, right? Having that patience and that discipline, like even what I've been doing, working out, you learn in that modality that the modality of working out shows you that even negation is where you gain your strength. Meaning, doing your negatives, doing the slow on the negative, on the come down of your workout, controlling the release, right, is what builds up the strength.
I
So
agree.
when I think about that analogy, I also can go through building up the strength by holding in or slowing the release, also is the thing that's missing from the teaching that they're giving out here about semen retention. Because when I was introduced to the modality, the most important part was the microcosmic orbit. So not only was you retaining it, but they specifically told you how to rotate it so you can create a magnified magnetic field, and then you can start enjoying the benefits of it. Because initially, what it does, once you are whipping the work, if you will, once you're whipping the work and you're sending it through that loop, every time that you loop it, your field is growing and growing and growing. And it's told to you, with heavy is the head that holds the crown. With these powers come great responsibility. That's the other part that they don't speak about. That you will attain powers that you feel like you're Superman. But oh, if you let that go to your head, pun intended, you can potentially destroy.
Brightburn.
Yeah.
Brightburn. We're gonna get into the movie side of things too, but remember, Brightburn was that vision they showed you when the child version of a Superman archetype had no compassion. If you remember that movie. Well, we get into it, but you
Yeah,
just reminded me, and I'm gonna add that to the list of
I don't
movies.
recall seeing that movie that you're speaking of, but I look forward to it. Nonetheless, let me take this second out, family. Shoot the link out. I got to shoot the link to some people that want to get in here as well. So I'll just take a brief second, a brief moment. Please tell a friend and tell a friend. Get yourselves prepared. We are gonna go there. All right.
All right.
Strap on tight, because once we start going down that proverbial rabbit hole, it's gonna pick up some speed. So give me 1 second, y'all. I just gotta shoot this link out and we're ready to go. So let me know. You wanna start with your presentation, or you want me to open up with mine? You just
Well,
let
I'm
me
a
tell
guest in your house, brother, so
you.
please lead.
And I don't want to make any assumptions, family. I do want to preference this and say that me and the brother definitely have had conversations. So I have a general idea about where he's going to take this. What I do want to share is that I was inspired by our conversations, and it made me look this particular way. And the thing about looking this way is Dr. B taught us through kinesiology, when someone is talking and thinking, and if they look this way, they're thinking about the past,
Mm.
right? So he was speaking about moon cycles, and I had to look this way. And I heard a whole conversation in my past about the tetrad moon cycles from 2014 to 2015, of which I'm the only person that I know on the planet outside of maybe the rabbis that covered it. You know, the way that I meticulously did to measure time, and how that time was impacting us as melanated people. Um, but what I also remembered was a meticulous moon cycle, because I've been following blood moons ever since. It made me think about the blood moon of 2022. And that's when things clicked for me. And I was like, oh, I got a whole lecture that I need to put together to present, to bolster what it is that you're going to come forward and say, which is that, time is definitely governed by transcribable moon cycles that can be measured. So, with
There are
that, yeah,
beings that are operating on the knowledge that's being hidden from you because we've been given another calendar that's the prevalent calendar. I call it the commercial calendar because it has its place. We have to coordinate with others in terms of business to be able to further whatever enterprises we have going. So if you remember, like Mission Impossible, once Mr. Phelps accepts the case or the challenge, first thing they had to do was synchronize their watches. So we have to have a common system. So if this is no longer the common system of natural order, when it comes to, when I say natural order, I'll say this: the sun, the moon, the stars were put in the sky for the keeping of appointments. And double entendre, we're both from. I'm 62, like I said, so I was here for all of hip hop as it's going through. So the double entendres that came through, when you say appointment, it means I'm gonna have to be at this specific place and time at a certain time. But also you're being appointed to a certain position. And if you miss that appointment in time, you may miss that appointment to the position or the power that you need to get to be able to go to the next level. So it's extremely important to understand also the connection between the physical environment that we're in and the physical body that we're in. And we want to touch on that briefly also here. And shout out to the sacred feminine, because it's all feminine in this physical space. It's magnetic, as you mentioned, which I prefer to use, versus feminine, because it becomes a riff. And I'm going to talk about the riff also because that's definitely intentional to keep you from having the power that you could fully have as a team, once you collectively come together.
So please, family in the audience, don't let it go over your head that the brother said that he's 62, right? So whatever he's on here is talking about in terms of health and hair care, he's qualified himself. I think that we need to like put the ear to the tube and tune in. You feel me? But allow me to dive into the deep end and at least do the best as I can to qualify, why we're here speaking in conversational tones about the blood moon and how the blood moon represents shadows and cycles. Okay? So with further ado, I want to share my screen and I'm gonna get right to this. And y'all already know how I do. I gotta get into some 44s. Wouldn't be right if I didn't. Um, so yeah, got the little matrix thing going on. StreamYard is sharing your screen. Y'all can see my screen all splintered. Y'all can see my screen, right?
I, I see the kaleidoscope.
Yeah, the kaleidoscope. Y'all see the kaleidoscope? All right, I'm gonna handle that. That's just overlapping. Give me 1 second. Sharing your screen. Da 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 da. Uh, Slides and PDFs. Slides and PDFs. Give me 1 second. Mm, Image file. Yeah, I got mad screens open. Quit. The
The
other
wheel
one.
within the wheel.
Yeah.
Ezekiel.
Okay. Here we go. What are the? Here we go. Y'all see it?
Mm.
Whoo. See it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this, I get a triple entendre out of this because, we had a whole viral campaign about 2 weeks ago. They clipped up our um our journey to the mountain. We went to Stone Mountain in June. It was probably 1,000 of us, and we were very intentional about us fulfilling the mandate of the king to make it to the mountaintop in order to make it to the promised land. And we had some few things we wanted to say about the Ku Klux Klan and the energy of white supremacy. And we knew what we were doing, but they castigated it online and they clipped it up, and some Christian zealots took it and ran with it, and they were attempting to mock us, saying that Atlanta is Atlantis, and our connection to making it Atlantis It's not about the water per se. It's about the crystal technology. It's about the ancient crystal technology. The fact that we were on a crystal mountain, right, that's connected to other 16 geodetic sites, and specifically and especially the ley lines. The joke was on them. And then the waters came 6 days later at Camp Mystic. And I didn't want to be facetious and sound like I was talking crazy by reminding them about the 27 children that got washed up, or the floods that never stopped. But recently, we also saw the floodgates open here in Atlanta at the same time that they were attempting to make mockery of our divine demonstration. And it has everything to do with the moon, of course. Time is a byproduct of matter and a unit of measurement. Let me show you what I mean. Right? Uh, Let me show you what I mean. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. My bad. Give me 1 second. I gotta stop sharing this. I have a older version of that presentation on my laptop that I need to transfer to myself from my iPad. So if y'all would give me a quick second. In the interim, I definitely want you to talk, speak about time and the construct of time as well, please.
Well, what I want to say is that we have a major cycle, lunar cycle, that's 19 years in repetition over the cycle, over forever, since the moon has been in place. Now, when we talk about time being measured by the sun, the moon, and the stars, the sun measures the time of day. We all know about high noon. But I'll tell you, and we can show and prove with screenshots and whatever, that right now it's not only about daylight savings time. I'm in Miami right now. Blue is in Atlanta, I believe, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. In Atlantis,
Yeah.
right? And
And,
we're both from New York, so called. So we
mm-hmm.
are told that this is East Coast time, but I can show and prove to you by looking at the moon, the sun cycle of where in each location the sun is at its peak or pinnacle, that you're not in the same time. You're off by 20, 30 or more minutes. So that is a necessity to understand when you're in your location. And I did a lecture last year in March called "The Blue Moon is the Blue Pill," right? And we're going to elaborate on that a little later. I got some screenshots for y'all on that, and I'm going to show when I bring up my video and presentation that it's undeniable. As a matter of fact, the first Matrix was released on a blue moon. I'm going to touch on that as well. Not coincidentally. Now, something else I want to say is that today they tell you it's the seventh day, but it's not. It's the 15th day. All full moons are the 15th day because the full moon is the same equivalent as high noon. So the way you measure the time of day is by the sun. The way you measure the time of the month is by the moon. The word month actually derives from moon. And that's where the key to unlock the okie doke lies. Lies, emphasis, double entendre. So when they tell you that, for example, lately you guys might have heard about it's a black moon, right? They said December was a black moon. I think we had another black moon recently. I don't pay attention to that because I know it's a false construct to create a matrix to entrap you in. Now let's talk about that a little bit about matrix. I speak a few different languages. Some of them are romance languages because my family is Caribbean. My mom's is Haitian and so on. So I spoke French actually before I spoke even English, even though I was born in New York. But that's another story. But what I'm trying to say is this. The word matrix actually means womb, right? The mother, the womb, la matrice means womb in French. So what they
Yes,
showed
not
you,
only this.
hmm? What
Matrix
they showed,
means womb.
Go ahead,
Matrix
brother.
means matter. Matrix means womb. Matrix means matter, and you also can find the word matrix in the body in the mitochondria, which is the power unit or the battery that exists in all of our cells. There's only, is handed down from your mama. Your mitochondria is from the matrix, from Ma. That part.
Hmm.
That part.
All extrapolations again from the Latin, which is a um, denotative versus connotative language. So in English, we have connotations where, depending on the context, it becomes a different word. But if we're dealing with original vibrations, initially we're going to find out once we get back to that level that the vibration only has one outcome. And then extrapolations happen thereof. But this is why they showed you that the beings on the planet were in an artificial womb that fed off of them for energy versus the natural order of the mother feeding the child, that's in her womb. So it was adversarial, i.e., satanic, hence the word, adversary, and satanic being synonymous, that they showed you that this is not natural. This is anti nature, right? That we're dealing with at this point. So, with all that being said, we have a whole body of knowledge to unpack that's still not unpacked 26 years later in that movie. And it's not ironic, but it's beautiful that we have blue pill and red pill, the pillars, the twins. And even that, I may share some very personal information. I'll have to keep some people private to protect them. But going back 11 years in the cycle to the Tit Trap Blood Moon, a lot was happening at that time, not by coincidence, right? So,
Yes.
go ahead, brother.
I'm just saying, and that right there, that is an amazing, perfect segue. Let me jump right into this so we could get right into your presentation and, you know, get the people what they came for. Um, Beautiful intro. You share the screen, and then we're gonna get right here and get right here. So Atlanta is Atlantis family, like we said. Time is a byproduct of matter and a unit of measurement, right? What do I mean? Time exists immediately after you go from 0 point to an actual line, right? Because the measurement of how long it takes to get to zero to the other point was the very first quote unquote insistence or creation of time. So time is a metric. If you think of a metric known, right, especially the unit of measurement that they call a second, where does the first exist? Somewhere in between the second, right? So we're off of universal time because all things start on one. Here they start on two. Okay, so that alone gives you an idea that we're dealing with artificial time. Time is a construct, right? So that artificial time that they're dealing with as a construct is pretty much formatted or templated for a cubic matrix reality. And I'll show you exactly what I mean with this diagram. You go from 0 point to one dimension, which is a line, two dimensional, which is length and width, three-dimensional, length, width, and space, right? And then now you have form. Now you have actual matter, right? Because now you can put volume, or the matter operates as the quote unquote container that operates as, if you will, like the gallon, and then you fill the gallon up. The gallon is empty until you fill it up. So now that's volume, right? That's where you put spirit in, and everything else is going to animate these particular objects to bring it to life, to bring it to a four-dimensional creation where now it's a square within a square. The initial square or the cube is dealing with matter, but animated matter, right? And the square is a composite, or the cube is a composite of two squares. Well, the tesseract is a composite of two cubes, right? That interact and interface with time and space, or what we call the earth realm, this particular reality, and spirit realm, right? Meaning that you're always tethered to your spiritual divine nature by way of your interplay and interaction the same way that the electron exists here and it doesn't exist here simultaneously. The electron is present here and then it jumps into another dimension and then it comes back, right? Do you not think that it doesn't take things from this matter from this dimension into that dimension? And they call that antimatter when it brings stuff from that dimension back into this dimension. But if you will look at the fourth dimension is a tesseract. And when you unfold the tesseract, it unfolds into a cube, right? It unfolds itself from a box within a box into an entire a cross, if you will, right? The cross is the cross of time and space. The cross also is a motif of matter. So the cross in time and space, again, now we're dealing with time as a metric or as a measurement of the distance between space, between one point and another. Now we can look at the construct of time and see that time also is a construct, right? And it's to me, in my modality, it's a 44 construct, right? Because the 24 represents a cube. We just came back here and showed you what the cube represents, right? And then the unfolding of the cube represents the cross. The cross of time and space is right here. That's represented by the clock, right? Then, as you can see on this diagram, we're counting the right way, which is counterclockwise, as opposed to clockwise, which is another trick, because nothing spins that way in this universe. Um, and if you add up this particular metric, when you break down time, you can see what Tesla said about the 369. Okay. So you got the 144, you got your 864, and you got your 432. Not only are these particular time signatures, these are also frequencies, right? You can play a 144 hertz. You can play 432 hertz. That's the heartbeat. That's the hertz of the particular quote unquote heartbeat, right? Also the heartbeat of the planet. Okay. 12 hours, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 24, 2 plus 4 equals 6, 1,440 minutes, right? 144 equals 9. And then again, us overemphasizing this is a measurement between time and space. Then we go to the very base metric of measurement is a square inch or square foot for that matter. A square foot is 144 square inches. It's a 12 by 12 matrix as well because it represents a pixelated cube, right? But it's no coincidence that even if you go to the whole word, time and space and gematria, well, before we go to that, since we're speaking about measurements of time, right? Let's look at the measurement of time that God took to build foundationally, square foot by square foot. He built out the world in 6 days. There's no coincidence. That also is 144 hours, and then he took a day off. So if it wasn't good enough for him, right? It's not good enough for you, right? On this seventh day, that you should kick back and relax and understand that the build out happens in 144, right? But again, and this is a shout out to you, bro. You was talking about this magic cubes, and this just popped up when I was doing my research. You know what I'm saying? Some of the magic square of the moon is 369.
Shout out Melvin, the wizard of the magic squares.
Yeah, shout out, shout out to bro. But it's all right here, man. You can't make this up. You feel me? It's
Mm-hmm.
the Kabbalistic tree of life, the world of Bria, which is the world of creation, and the world of the archangels. Okay, also coincides with the number 369. And again, we need you to have an open mind to receive this information because you exist simultaneously in 11 dimensions. There goes that 11 again, brother.
Mm-hmm.
There goes that 11 pointer star, right?
Right.
You exist simultaneously in the 11 dimensions. What does that mean? I can entertain the fact that I'm dealing with Gregorian time, and I also simultaneously can deal with the fact that I'm dealing with Coptic time, and I also simultaneously can understand the Baktuns and Mayan time, and I also understand Congo time, and I also understand Galactic time, and all of it simultaneously.
Atomic time.
You are responsible, yes, for knowing where you exist in this particular matrix, using different tools of measurement. right? This is your test, okay? And again, it's no coincidence that I showed you all of that dealing with the metrics of time, right? And its relationship to the number 44, but in gematria, which is the geometry of these particular words, right? In gematria, time and space equals 44. And I say 144 is 44 because if you look at the word 44, it equals 144. If you look at the word April 4th, it equals 144. That's no that's no coincidence. These are a trillion and one odds, my ninjas. Like there's no coincidence for that. This is indisputable proof. And again, time, which is a 12 by 12 metric, does not just equal 144 in the timing of 1,440 minutes equal a day, but even in the adding up of the word in gematria, it equals 144. That's unprecedented to me. You know, you just excuse me if I'm just a little like, whoa. But here we go, right back to the timing sequence. 1,440 minutes is time and 86,400 seconds in a day. That's time. But look how they both coincide with 44. So it should be no secret to you why the ball drops on 42nd Street on 44th Street, right? The building is on 44th Street. It's not on 42nd Street. The Condé Nast building where the ball drops from is on 44th because it's a metric of time. But when we speak about the cross of time and we speak about the multiplicity of how these cubes come together, we even see that all of these particular characters that drive this narrative all have the same energetic signature 444 and 74 in English and simple gematria. If you can box a name and it shows you that it equals the same numerics in different counting systems or different gematria calculators, that word is the same word, right? Lucifer or Muhammad governs Friday, since we're speaking about time. Lucifer governs Saturday, and then Sunday is Jesus's day. And they all equal the strong end of 444. Okay. So it's no coincidence that we see the return of these figures into the conversation, right? Because coincidentally and coincidingly, specifically, Jeffrey, who is Young Thug, okay, he got locked up on May 9th, 2022, right before the Scorpion blood moon. And the Scorpion blood moon happened in Taurus season. Okay. And there were two specific things that happened during this moon cycle, during the last blood moon, this prominent one, because this was a super blood moon. Okay. This was a super blood moon, a total lunar eclipse known as the super flower blood moon. It occurred on May 15th to the 16th. Young Thug gets locked up on May 9th. The slime, right? And slime gets knocked, right? And at the same time that they snatch slime is the same time that the stable coin, right, tanked. And this stable coin was called Terra Luna. Terra means earth, Luna means moon. This was the first destabilization of the cryptocurrency market dealing with stable coins that alerted the financial institution about how much money they was making. And then it ultimately will lead to the failure or the falling of FTX. And that happens in November 2022 during Scorpio season. The signaling or the prompting of it takes place in Taurus, which is the sign that stands for banking and financial institutions and big bank, big money. Okay. So this collapse was so profound that they have think pieces on it. They teach about it at Harvard. Anatomy of a Stables Coin's Failure, the Terra Luna case. Okay. So the coincidence or the coinciding of this is that again, I'm going to jump back. During that last moon cycle in May of 22, that was signaling, again, if you will, the prompting of the problems, right? Young Thug got hit with a RICO, stable coins and cryptos took a hit and took a dive. By the time this new moon comes around, which we are in the throes of right now, we see that things have changed. So the crypto market, specifically driven by stable coins, has resurrected itself scorpionically to become a phoenix and have a meteoric rise, where now they almost took over the entire economy because of the Genius Act, and they're on the verge of being worth trillions, right? And at the same time, we see that the past of Young Thug has caught up to him. Literally, they dropped the episode yesterday when we were supposed to be doing this presentation, and he dropped a video the day prior that may potentially put him back in the throes of the federal government or the state, whoever he violates with his parole, right? He's going through something very karmic right now in terms of them leaking all of his phone calls and it destroying his reputation in the streets as slime, right? Or as the top YN, if you will. Someone who
Mm.
made a term that was synonymous with killing black men is being touted as, a fake thug. But Gangsta Boondocks told you this from the beginning before he even emerged, what was about to happen. And when we look at sex, money, murder, we understand that this is what's called a Scorpio Taurus axis. Not only did they take him down during a Scorpio blood moon in the season of Taurus in May of 22, the actual gang that he's associated with is a physical Scorpio Taurus axis. Sex, Scorpio, money, Taurus, murder, Scorpio. Am I making that up? Am I even slightly reaching? Am I
It
even
all
slightly
lines up.
reaching? Then let me know. Sex, money, murder. And then to put the cherry on top to show you that I'm not reaching, my guy who was born on April 4th, Hoke is 45, creates a challenge to drop his flag, and he is sex, money, murder, right? And he's doing it because his brethren and sisterin that's part of that street organization are catching RICO charges left and right. So he gets attacked. He's a 44 resonator. He gets clowned by a troll named Adam 22, who attempts to eclipse, right? His move on a blood moon, him being a blood, but not only a blood who's born on April 4th, and 44 is the Hebrew word for blood. You can't make this up. And all of this is happening in real time. This happened yesterday, just in time for us to demonstrate and show you in real time how this is real, real, real. Right?
I just want to say to all the people out there, I ain't gang banging no more. Um, I've been GDDD by Lord for a long time now. I'm doing battle with my ops, done battle with the police, put in work in the jails, but I decided I needed to change my life. Ever since the big homies caught me playing with my booty hole, they've been extorting me 20K a month. I can't live like this no more, man. It's too expensive. And I'm ready to just be me. So I encourage everybody out there to do the drop my flag challenge and just and live your truth on the dead homies. So yeah, gang banging is out. Carry to myself is in. Peace.
You know what's crazy is when you brought your bitch ass hunking Dorian ass to the Bronx, even though you fuck with Whack 100 and I don't, I supported it.
Look, I'm gonna spare you guys. It just gets real ugly from that point. And he has a clown, he has a troll, a person is maybe clientele asset in the community, attempting to make mockery of him telling young melanated brothers and sisters, before the federal troops arrive, you know what I'm saying? Stand down. It's not worth it. They're not gonna hold you down. But again, here goes more empirical proof, just in case you needed it, that the word blood equals 44 in Hebrew, and it tells you exactly why. It breaks it down, right? Daleth is 40, okay, and meme is 40. I mean, Daleth is Daleth is 4. Daleth is the door, it's the fourth letter in the Hebrew language. And meme, which means memory, or the root of memory, dealing with water, is the number 40. Okay. And those together, 44. The number 44, derived from the word for blood, is seen in some interpretations as having a deeper symbolic connection to concepts like birth, life, and family, linking it to spiritual meanings like the birth of believers as children of God, or the 144,000, if you will. Because I just showed you 44 is an anagram for 144. Or you could turn 8 into 9 by putting the 1 back in front of it. The word that you pronounce right in Hebrew for the word of blood is dam, like as in damu, not dam, but dam, like as in Adam or damu, as in what the blood gang considers themselves. My brother, I hope you speak on this as well. And this is dealing with Janus, right, the two-headed god. That they named January after Janus governs doorways and portals. And the reason that I wanted to speak on this particular entity, and coinciding with Thug, oh, this is a real quick plug for a commercial. We were selling these counterclock clocks to tell proper time as well. But this year in the Catholic Church is the Jubilee year. And the Jubilee year was inaugurated and initiated on Christmas Eve, December 24th of 2024, right? And the opening of 6 different portals, okay? And as you can see, this is in alignment with Saint Pope Paul the Sixth, who did it in 75, the year we were born, and Pope Francis initiated it this year. That figure in the lower left corner is a figure that they created called Lush, as in Lucifer, or the root word of Lucifer. They saying it means light. That's the patron mascot of this year's Jubilee, right? This is a Jubilee this year that is predicated on hope and mercy. Uh, we had our own Jubilee in 2019, but I'm sure that again, when the brother sets the dates right, we could get our numbers together. But collectively speaking, 2019/2020 was Melanated People's Jubilee. They missed the mark, right? I mean, even though they engaged in the celebration, they did all of the things to qualify the Jubilee year, right? Them not knowing that they were in their Jubilee year is, why a lot of the things we see taking place right now are taking place. But I digress. Let me move forward. Right? It's the trumpet year. The Jubilee year is inaugurated by the blowing of the trumpet. This Jubilee year dealt with the trumpet or Trump coming back in, and also dealt with the Super Bowl back in New Orleans. Right? The Super Bowl in New Orleans is a major echo to these time cycles that we continuously speak of. And coincidingly, this past Thursday, I believe it was September 4th. It was the 44th birthday of Cowboy Carter. You see Cowboy Carter on the pale horse. The pale horse dealt directly with the fact that Philadelphia would win the Super Bowl, channeling the four horsemen, right? We are in times of revelation. The Church of Philadelphia is revelations. You know what I'm saying? We are in those times. The march is happening. You feel me? The pale horse is outside. It's riding. She got the gold fringes on the flag. Nigga, it's war. Okay. She turned 44 on Thursday at the same time that the Super Bowl champions who won in New Orleans, which coincides with her hometown of Louisiana, and the Superdome coincides with the Super Bowl performance that she performed in 2013 in the Thunderdome when she turned into Sasha Fierce, and they had the Blackout Bowl at 13 minutes and 22 seconds, which is 44 again. Okay. This was the Kaepernick Super Bowl when the 49ers played the Baltimore Ravens, and the Moors beat the Church, which is the 49ers. And 8 days after that, the Pope Benedict wakes up and abjugates his throne for the first time on the birth date of the Vatican, February 11th, and lightning struck the Vatican twice when they did that. Okay? Nobody talks about this. But on Thursday, this Dallas and Eagles game stopped at 4:44, and the final score equaled the number 44. on
Fire.
Beyonce's 44th birthday. And no, she's a 44 resonator. She married Jay-Z on April 4th, and they got the fours tatted on their ring finger because they know that they're 44 resonators. And she had a whole goddamn album named after her because of a nightmare that he had at 444 waking up cheating on this woman. Right? And they started the game off with the dude Jalen Carter, who was born on April 4th, spitting on the quote unquote quarterback. Okay. Or my bad, Jalen Carter spit on Dash Prescott, number 4, right? And all of these other things happened in that game coinciding with 44. Oh, and in Gematria spit equals 44. Okay. So when we speak about blood, we're speaking about Aries energy. We're speaking about Mars. We're speaking about war. So the number one 44 resonator of them all does not miss these opportunity to take advantage of blood moons. Okay, does not take, does not miss opportunities, and his kabbalistic handlers do not miss the opportunity. So during and under the coming of these 44 energy, moving as we slide down the road into Scorpio, here they go, evoking the echoes of war, where they not only turned the Department of Defense into the Department of War, right, during this time period, they also declared war. They struck domestic terrorist boats in Venezuela. They're sending their navy out to surround all of these other countries in South America. They're sending them to Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? They're running down on the hoods. You feel me? And they dismantled a decades long peace vigil that was sitting up for 44 years, of course. Okay? Right outside of the White House. Can't make this up. Not this, you can't. Restoring the United States Department of War. There's all war going forth. That's all they're telling you, right? I love the smell of Detroit. Look what he got. Apocalypse Now. And then they go into Chicago, right? And he said that they're about to find out why it's called the Department of War. They have declared universal war on any and everything. And just to show you to coincide again with my methodology, I wish you would have tapped in today. We had an amazing sermon. But right
Mm.
off the break, right in Genesis, because I coincide my scripture with the Gregorian calendar to show that we exist multidimensionally, right away in Genesis 9:7. Do you want to read it or shall I read it?
Go ahead, brother.
Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man his blood will be shed. For in his own image God has made mankind, right? And then we jump into Hebrews, which is the book right before Revelation. So we opened up with blood and we'll close with blood. 9:7, when everything had been prepared in the way, the priests entered regularly into the first room to perform their sacred duties, but only the high priest entered the second room, and then only once a year, and never without blood, which he
Mm.
offered for himself for the sins of the people that had committed in ignorance, right? By
Mm.
this arrangement, the Holy Spirit was showing that the way into the most holy place had not yet been disclosed as long as his first tabernacle was still standing. Okay. And that concludes my presentation, good brother. And may the universe be pleased with my attempt as best as I can, like I said, just to show that what you're about to share has some merit and some science to it. I'll be damned.
Well, I'm gonna backtrack to when you first started with the tesseract and the physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, like I said, I'm bearing gifts today for the
Oh,
family.
let me take
So,
my screen down. Is that yeah, let me stop sharing. Here we go. Yes. Whew.
okay, I'm bearing gifts for the family, as I said. And so, what we're going to be doing is giving an opportunity to peep behind the curtain of the wizards, so to speak, the sorcerers, really, because I don't have a negative connotation for wizards, but sorcery is a different story. And allow for um, us to speak about, like you said, the tesseract And one of the gifts that I have is called Movie Monks. And Movie Monks is going to show, and it makes it easier to show when people have entertained themselves with, the presentation of a movie, and if they pay attention enough, because some things we just have it in the background, we're not really paying attention, but we can revisit, and that's what Movie Monks is about. I'm going to be doing some physical presentations in New York and my school, my martial arts school, and here online through Movie Monks. And I do have a social media platform that I've had for some time that I prepared and paid for that allows me to do presentations online similar to this, but not regulated by the parties, at large. So they can't stop us using the material for instruction, right? So we didn't mention that when we look at the time, like I mentioned, the high noon and high moon, and today being the 15th day of the month, not the 7th day, that means that if we go back, yesterday would be the 14th day, and Friday would be the 13th. In true time, when you look at the 13th day of the moon. Now, going back to the 11-year cycle of this blood moon, when you go back 11 years from now, you have a blood moon correlation that begins the beginning. This is the middle. This is a triad, not a tetrad. So we have 3 blood moons separated by 6 moons, basically.
Is this the first one that we're experiencing in the triad?
This is the middle one,
Right.
which I explained to you.
So
Yeah.
which one signaled? Which one was the first in this triad?
March.
Of when? Of this year?
Yes. Yes.
So there was a blood moon in March of this year, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And I do have some visuals to show that I did after we realized that I needed to do that yesterday. So I have something prepared, and we'll get into it in a second. So you've got March's first blood moon in the series of 3. Mm-hmm. Then you count off, April, May, June, July, August, 6th moon, September. So you have, like you mentioned, the 6 days of rest are mirrored in these cycles. So when we had the 4 blood moons, it basically gave you the whole cycle, and not by coincidence. And I'll bring up the first, let me see if I could bring up the first video to illustrate this. The cycle of 4 blood moons separated by 6 gives you the true month, the true cycle of the week. So I spoke to you about this before, and I'll just say it here. As far as my opinion goes, the lunar Sabbath, and even those who follow a lunar Sabbath don't begin it correctly, because they begin it with the new moon. The new moon is not the first day of the moon. It's the 0 point. It's the black moon. It's the true black moon. It happens every month.
0 point. Right. Reset.
It's the reset. Right.
It's at a time.
Right. And I'll give the story that I had told you about how I began this, and it goes all the way back to when I was 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And I was initially Seventh-day Adventist. My family was very Seventh-day. And I tried to prove, first of all, because being who I am, I'm a critical thinker. I like to look and prove. I can share my screen now also, if that works. Let me go back here and share the screen. We're practicing this, so hopefully we'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit plus here. Share screen. All right. And I'm going to keep the audio up, but I may mute it because I did speak on it earlier. But I believe that I may have to re-speak for clarity. So let me know if you guys can see this. How we doing? Can you guys see that?
No, I don't see anything yet.
Don't see anything.
Still me and you on the screen.
It says sharing this tab, ScreenYard, view tab. Stop sharing, view tab. Okay. Still nothing?
Mm-mm.
And do I have to switch it? How does that work?
What you mean switch what?
If you can look and see, I mean, I have the tab up there. I don't know how to make it go live. Maybe you have to do that.
Oh, you're doing that. Okay, you're doing
There
that.
you go.
All
There
right.
you go. There you go. There you go.
Let's see
Okay.
what I do.
So what we're dealing with here is, let me blow this up a little bit so I can see it myself as well. All right. So that right there is, and you mentioned the 2022 blood moon. This is the most significant one, aside from the one I'm going to speak about, which was April 15th, 2014. That was the first of the Tetrad moons.
Tetrad, right?
Now, remember what I told y'all? The full moon is always the 15th day. So how, in terms of coincidences that cannot be coincidences, that we start off this tetrad quadruple full moon cycle, blood moon cycle, that has a moon and then 6 moons, then a moon and then 6 moons, that basically represents the true nature of a month.
Do you
With
have? Because I don't want to confuse the people. Because you jump in back and forth between time cycles. Do you have a diagram that shows the tetrads?
what I'm
Family,
going
when
to
we say
do,
tetrads, we're speaking about a series of full moons between 2014 and 2015. A
right?
series of triads, these three blood moons that we are currently within, right? You see, the
Mm-hmm.
first one started in March. We are we're on the second one today,
Right,
and then the third one will be 6 months from now. Correct?
correct. The final one.
Okay.
Right. So what I'm gonna do is, I got this pulled up still. I'm going back and forth between the video and here. So I put this video together at 518. Shout out to my Earth Day, which is also Haitian Flag Day, because I'll be bringing that knowledge to the table of how they stole the birthright of a very special group of people. And I don't want to hurt anybody's sensibilities, but because they're so special, they've been infiltrated from day one to water down the power, right? And we talked a little bit about that, Blue, and that's for another presentation. But I got it right there just to begin, the cipher. So then I'm going to let this play, and I muted it out for now. But let's see what I said. So let's start it off, right? So over here we have the super blue blood moon of January 31st, 2018. All right, pause right there. So, did you guys hear the audio on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this moon is a super blue blood moon. It is the rarest of moons. So let's unpack it. And I think I spoke about it, but I'm gonna let it play and just mute it as I say it live. So it is definitely a super moon, because that means that it's closer to the planet and it's larger. So that's correct. Super blue, now I'm going to pause that and go back to it. It's obviously a blood moon because it's an eclipse moon that has a radiance, a tinge of redness that is called the blood moon. But the blue part is where I say the blue pill, the blue moons are the blue pill. So their definition of a blue moon is, and let me let it play and see when we get up to that part, because I'm going to be allowing that to be the case. I'll just fast forward a little bit and see if I can catch it, since I covered a lot of that. And let's play it again. The triad four moons with the super. This was the big beginning of it all. After the triad four moons with the super blue blood moon. Now, what do I mean by that? Super blue blood moon, right? So we've got over here a full moon on the 1st and also a full moon on the 31st. So according to one of the false constructs that was created, this is the second moon in a month is a blue moon. The Matrix was released on a blue moon. Okay, we'll look at that right now. The Matrix was released in 2019. And it's going to correlate because the moon cycles are a 19-year cycle. I'm sorry, the moon Matrix was released in 1999. So in March of 1999, you have a full moon on the second day and another full moon on the 31st day. And this was so-called blue moon. Also, if we look over here and we just Google date of death, date of death, Nipsey Hussle. Oops, spell check. Nipsey Hussle. All right, there you go. 2019. That is exactly 20 years. It's a 20-year anniversary of the Matrix. So, in terms of I was ready with this lecture then, but I could not drop it because the media blackout over the young man's death, may he rest in peace and in power, was so interesting. 29 years old,
11
2019, March 31st, the
and
20th
33.
anniversary of
I
the
don't know why they
Matrix.
got that
He
wrong.
died
33.
at 33 years old.
Yeah.
We're not going to read all kinds of things into this,
Eric
but
Holder.
what I'll
Okay.
say is that there are no coincidences. What you have are echoes and code that screams at you, which we'll get into eventually. But right now, this is about the moons. So going back to where we were here, I want to show you guys something. We're going to go back to 2018. And I'm going to show you the triad, which is the same type of triad or three moons that we are having right now. This moon that we have today is actually the moon in the middle, right? So if we go over here and just go back to today's moon, right? This moon right here is the moon in the middle. I'll show you that, right? September 7th. And I'll show you now going back one full moon, two full moons, three full moons, four full moons, five full moons. There's another one. March 14th was the first one. Now, again, going back to where we are now, I'm going to go forward now. One full moon, two full moons, three full moons, four full moons, five full moons, six. Again, this is a triad. Now, if I went forward 6 moons, you would not see another blood moon. So these are 3 moons that are separated with a space of 6. What they're alluding to is the seal or the sign of the chosen people. We'll talk about that a little further. Now, chosen people is not really, I mean, it's up to you what you want to call it. If you're religious and biblical, you say chosen people. At the end of the day, for me at this point, it is natural beings that. Okay, pause on that. So let me get back to the screen. So what we're dealing with here is natural order. You're in a physical realm that correlates and is encoded with cycles that also correlate to your body, right? The salt in the sea is exactly the same specific gravity as your blood. The moon affects the tides. The blood moon affects the tides. All full moons affect the body, right? So we need to understand that these cycles are directly correlated to us to reveal our power if we know how to apply them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So before you talked about days and the count. So let's take, for instance, what we've been given as a base 60 system of time, right? 60 seconds, 60 minutes. Remember, I spoke to you. Nobody goes past that second 6. 717, that's a code. 17 by 17 magic square. We'll eventually touch on that. Shout out Melvin again, the wizard that followed the yellow brick road, right? So 60 seconds is a minute. 60 minutes is an hour. 60 hours is what?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jeopardy music cued in. Right. Right. So we got 24 hours in a day. So 2 times 24 will be 48, left over 12. So 2.5 days. Now, I'd like to go to another screen right now. Let me see if I could pull that up real quick and show you that we have more. This app that I'm showing is another gift for those of you who have Androids. I have a lot of, family and people that learn for years and years that have iPhones. They hate it because they can't get that app. That app is very, very powerful in terms of calculations, right? But I'm going to see if I could pull up some screenshots from the app to help you guys. I thought I sent it here. Maybe I sent it here. At the end of the day, I know I sent it to you, Blue. So let me see what I sent to you over the last week or so. Media files, media. Okay. Let's go back up the rabbit hole and try to locate. Okay, this will work right there. So I'm gonna just use this one. It's not the one I was looking for. It's not cropped, but we'll have to make that work. So let me go back here and you guys can see it. Great. So you can't see it. That wasn't it. So we need to stop this share and do a new share. Stop screen and do a new share that involves that screen right there. Okay, we'll just go with this for time's sake. So this was a screenshot I sent you a few days ago that showed that the moon was in Aquarius. I really want to show today, and I have it somewhere, but today the moon begins in Pisces. Typically, the moon spends 2.5 days, 60 hours in each sign. This is necessary knowledge for the males to be able to calculate their, what we call in my system, in CMC, their exclamation point, as opposed to a female's so-called period. They want to, initially the first years or so, I was like, male period. I was like, I don't like that. Then I realized the exclamation point is a phallic symbol. Perfect. So what does that knowledge afford you? It affords you to know not to that. That's when you're supposed to absolutely retain the semen and know what to do to recirculate it through the system, up the spine to the crown and illuminate the crown. This is how, like I said, King Arthur becomes king, by pulling the sword out of the stone. Pause. So for me, go ahead. Question, brother?
I say you ain't got to pause it.
So for me, being Taurus, right? My 2.5 days start on Thursday, right? And I've taught this to my son, to my male, students and brethren, and they've had incredible abilities develop. My first time showing ability, it might not have been the first time, but one of the main times I had to meet my brother Diamond in Flatbush. I was developing my scooter business. He's into electric bikes and he has a fire electric motorcycle. So I was about to go by a shop down in Flatbush. I say, yo, D, what you doing? Meet me over there. And he's like, cool, I'll meet you over there. So I was down by Church Avenue. I was about to ride the scooter down to past the museum, just past the museum. And for those of y'all who know Brooklyn, Kings County. And so I put a song on. I was inspired to put a song on my phone to generate a playlist to ride down to. And when I got down to the shop, within the first half hour, I hear him humming. And I'm like, yo, what are you humming, bro? And he's like, I don't know. I said, I heard what you humming. You were humming Don't Be a Fool by Loose Ends. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why. And then I showed him my phone. That was the song I had put in. So these are methods to get back our power.
You got to explain that to the people, though. You just can't. Like, what does that mean? How? Like, connect the dots on that. Don't just throw that at them.
Because I was following what I'm saying to you. I was already doing multiple cycles of knowing my exclamation point and practicing raising that energy and pulling that sword out of the stone.
Right.
which gave me back my crown, which I have multiple other examples, but this was one of the early
Just,
examples.
but like, I know what you mean, but if someone hears that, what do you mean? Like, how did you do that, and how? Like, what do you mean by that, bro? Like, make it make sense to them, please.
The projection of my mind, or you also have the sixth chakra, which is the pineal, and that's the true unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not for this presentation, but I have a lot to explain in terms of experiences,
And
as
when you,
well as those
once
on the
again,
planet.
when you say unicorn,
Mm-hmm.
mean by that?
Okay, in our present society, the unicorn is represented by My Little Pony. I'm gonna bring up, since we're impromptu, but we're gonna keep it pushing. I'm gonna
I don't
pull up.
want you to lose the point, though. I want you to, because we're speaking about. Let me tell you how I answer it, right? To
Mm-hmm.
to coincide with the alley oop. Zero in laser focus is the unicorn, right? That we have a pineal, but you have the ability to have laser focus, and that laser almost looks like how a unicorn looks. And when you laser focus something, you crystallize it. The way that someone can pick up something displaying this part of your magnetic field is because you're amplifying your aura, and you permeate. Once the amplified aura comes into contact with one that's not oscillating at the same frequency, you are going to take over that particular auric field, and you're going to permeate it. And the people are picking up the magnetism because now it's part of their field, because you carry your atmosphere everywhere with you. And these methods and modalities are to expand our field and our modality. That's why, semen retention is so important, because you can become the Christos, you could become the high tide that lifts all boats. Meaning that even as I was reading, or doing my sermon today, I'm reminding the people, because it keeps coming up. Jesus was a healer. Jesus was a healer. Jesus was a healer. Right? That's all he was. He was going around performing healing miracles. Right? And his ability, the aptitude of which you can obtain with diamond body or Christ consciousness, is that you can carry the healing in your aura, and any and everyone that you come into contact with, you heal them haphazardly. And everywhere that you go, high tides lift all boats, which I would dare question, if his auric field was so strong and tight, where did the ability for deception creep in at? Because you got to have holes and gaps in your aura for snakes to slide in, like the quote unquote Judases, if you will, or the young thugs of the world, right? But that's the side note in the sidebar. But
Question
yeah,
though.
that's just what I'm
Question.
thinking about it.
Just for just for clarity. So you feel that because my thought field somehow infringed or collaborated with his mindset, that it was some kind of weakness? Is that the way you see it?
No, no, I'm saying if your white noise is louder than his, your white noise is gonna take over him. Take
I
over his.
understand.
This
I
is
understand.
about oscillating waveforms and frequencies. When you're turned up, he's gonna hear your song, and you're not before you hear his.
I understand.
You're
My take on it was,
yes.
the brother and I are very, very close, and we oscillate at very similar frequencies. He's one of the most righteous brothers I know. I aspire to be on his level a lot of times. He inspires me. He's one of the few brothers that inspires me that way. And I feel that we just had a connection that allowed us to, like a tuning fork, tune into the same frequency. And that allowed us to see the collaboration or the collective mind, the mastermind come through in that connection. That was my take on it. But again, truth is personal, right? I have pulled up something that I'd like to play right now to speak about the unicorn, or else to just give a
Mhm.
clue, because again, movie monks is a thing, and this is another gift from movie monks. It's from a movie called Percy Jackson.
Oh, my favorite. Let's do it.
All right, so let's play this and then we'll chop it up over it. All right, I don't know how I did it the last time. Okay, great. All right, so let me go back and press play. Percy, where are you, Percy? Okay, there you go. All right, so I'm gonna go full screen on this and play. Oh, we'll back it up.
What do we do? Swim?
But it's water. Dad'll help. Hey, Dad. We're trying to save Camp Half-Blood and rescue a satyr named Grover. And we could really use your help getting to that ship out there.
It's a hippocampus.
Hi, girl. Boy. Sometimes you just gotta ask.
All right, pause.
All I've been doing is asking.
Pause right there. So what did he just say? This is part of the okie doke that has happened and is continually happening. All you see in terms of unicorns is My Little Pony. I once come across a video, I could probably find it years and years ago, where it was at hedonism. And that's when I found out in the world of swingers and whatnot, it was on YouTube. They were looking for the unicorn at hedonism, some nude sex beach or whatever. And then they realized, oh, there's a unicorn. I'm a unicorn. And it was women who facilitated sex in groups or singles or whatever. She's just there to be flipped and flopped any way you need to use her. It's called a unicorn in that world. When the true meaning of the unicorn is the enlightened male that can extend the pineal, because that's the same way we have a penis. There's no coincidence that this is pineal penis. It's a metaphysical penis, and I don't want to get into and digress too much, but I had an experience that I'll share in the future with someone who was nefarious with their ability because they were transgender. And they felt that they were going to be the saviors, but at the same time, they were villainous because they tried to extend the pineal into my third eye cortex. Because there's more than the pineal. You have the the pituitary and the hypothalamus, right? And here also, I don't want to forget, they didn't call it a unicorn. They called it the hippocampus. This is very important. That's a seahorse in Greek, and you have two in your brain, one for episodic memory or your present memory, and the other one has been shut down for ancestral memory.
Long term, yes.
I've held that back, and you're familiar. And now everybody's kind of getting, I've had this information for a long time, right? When it was given to me, but it wasn't ready yet in terms of, we're going to discard it and not take it to be as important. And I needed more information for application. But when I had that experience a few years back, this transgender person had the ability and tried to do this. And I said, yo, bro, stop that. He's like, what are you going to do about it? It was literally a psychic rape. And I had to focus and force it out, similar to a female being attempted to be raped, and I forced it out. And the person said, that's never happened before. Surprised, because they have obviously violated multiple people, and that's why they felt that they had that ability and they were going to go against the so-called Illuminati when you're doing villainous things yourself. That's nefarious and villainous right there without permission. So I digressed, but I think it was important to share. And now we can go back to the presentation. If you don't mind, I had to do it because it's serious information that we're lacking. Things are happening. And again, to let the family know what I'm willing to do right now, because this is the time of giving for me that I've been told how to do this. I want to extend the access to my Movie Monks platform that I'm about to activate for the family, where I'm going to be breaking down certain movies, at least one movie per month, maybe two on the full moon and the new moon. And the first movie that's going to be broken down is Age of Ultron. I'm going to just put up the link in the comments later today, so y'all could just watch it again for free on my site. I have it in high def, and then later on I'll let y'all know when I'm gonna break that down. But getting back to the lecture here, Age of Ultron was released on May 1st, 2015, in the middle of the Titrat, and that was also Friday the 13th. And they do that often. Almost all the Marvel movies, it's such. Right? So, and May 1st is also in the commercial time a so-called Sabbath or Wiccan Sabbath called May Day, as you well know, right? May 1st. So this was
State of the Illuminati. Yes.
Very powerful. So that particular presentation is going to be called Age of Ultron versus the Age of Aquarius. We spoke about that. And that needs to be gotten into because we're in the middle of this developing. The AI is coming online, if it's not already online, in the form of AGI.
So it's there.
Right.
It's there. Comfortably.
There you go. I'll stop that share.
Are you finished?
I'm paused because I don't know where you want to take it because I just took it like
no.
way off the beaten path.
We're not off the beaten path. We didn't go anywhere but forward. Keep going.
All right.
Let's get
so
us.
Like I said, Friday the 13th, back on May 1st, 2015, was right in the middle of the Titrads. So what I'm going to do is go pull back that video that was showing. Let me start the screen share again, and we'll see if we can continue that. Oh, wow. I want y'all to see this. Hopefully y'all will see this. Can't make it up. And this is, as Blue is always showing, you got to look at, and as I teach my people, the echoes are pointing to the truth or the moon. Like they said, the finger pointing to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger, but acknowledge that the finger is pointing to the moon. Shout out Bruce. So
I don't see the
it's about to come. If I can add it again, add it back. God forgive me. I just learned this platform yesterday, which I was trying to do this from my phone because I have everything on my phone, but that was not the move. So here we go. Share. It was impossible actually. So you should be able to let me pull that up right now. And I want y'all to see that it was paused at 4 minutes and 41 seconds. In 3 more seconds, we're going to hit the 444. Y'all see that? Okay. So let me press play. Again. Where are you? There you go. Press play. We're put in an environment that allows them to thrive if they understand the connection between them and the environment. I did an Instagram post, my first public post, on some of the codes that explained anagrams, and especially the word heart and earth, right? So you can consider the heart and the earth to be the same. The lower realms would be hell, and I'll show how that connects to the astrology and the knowledge that's hiding in the Western astrology. The upper realms, or the mind, the thoughts, are heaven. The ability to create heaven through your thoughts. I'll let that last thought come out before I elaborate. To create, period, through your thoughts, right? But let's pause that conversation and go back to where we are right now. All right, pause that. So that I'll definitely put a link in the comments to my Instagram that has that first public lesson about, again, the time I believe, I feel, I absolutely know for myself, but the truth is personal, like I said. Some people might disagree, But this base 60 time was given to us from my research by the Sumerians, who got it from where? They didn't invent it. Nobody invented these numbers or this time. It was given, and I believe it's encoded. That's why we see these time codes all the time. Even in regular time, even when it's altered, we still see a repeating number sequence. And that's because this base 60 time system, and don't forget, I told you 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 60 hours. There's your 666 again, right? Which stands for the physicality. Carbon, it also has a metaphysical meaning, which I'll get into when it's time to get into that. But it's giving us codes. And that presentation, I suggest everybody go look at it, because I'm going to reveal, for example, as we spoke about earlier this week as well, Blue, that we're not in 2015 commercial time or common era. That's AD. And when was that created? It was created in 525. Right now in Ethiopia, it is still 2017 until the 11th of the month, which is the beginning of their new year. For me, my year starts in March, April. So it'll be 2017 for me until March, April. But we are in what I believe is a loop of Tenet, Tenet, just like the movie. Again, why movie months is a thing. Because I'll show you my same wizard that I told you I keep alluding to. Melvin and I were talking about Tenet, and I have a magic square that I showed you that I can pull up that had the word Tenet in it in 2016, 2017, around the same time, in reflection. It's a cycle. It's an echo. Trump became president in 2016. The same difference in time that they added, he became president again in 2024. It's not coincidence. We're repeating things. The market, I was doing crypto in 2016, 2017, right? Look at what's going on with the crypto market again now. That means when 2019 comes, you know what to expect. And you should expect it. They're already talking about, I just saw an article about people are wanting to wear masks again in California because there's a new COVID outbreak.
Mm-hmm. It's repeating.
Right. It's repeating. So now we should also, by reverse engineering, know how to prepare and take advantage of this thing that is repeating.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do so, we can be ahead of the game, because they're going to lock you down again. I saw a conversation with ChatGPT, like I told you, where they told ChatGPT to answer Apple if it was programmed to answer no if it wants to say yes. And it told you this is a lockdown cycle, 7 steps, and we're on step number 3. Step number 5 is integration, or Neuralink. I think that was the title of the video. If y'all want to search it on YouTube, it was Neuralink is the mark of the beast. It was from a Christian point of view.
We have 30 minutes to hit this 2-hour mark.
Okay. We're getting there right now.
Again, tonight,
and I really want to say again, bro.
This blood moon is here. It's blood moon rising.
Right.
Right.
So
I want you to bring us up to date, and let's.
The same thing about the cycles
today.
When that happened, the big one, as you all know, were the tetrad 4 blood moons. We're right now in a flow of 3 blood moons. I wanted to continue. Yes. Let's let this play and see what I already have prepared, because I did it last minute right before we got on here. So let's see. It's got like another 3 minutes. Let's let that rock out, and I'll elaborate, unpack it with where I left you guys with 2018 and show you something very interesting. So here we have March 2018, and again, we have a full moon and another full moon in the same month. So this would be a blue moon, March 31st, 2018, right? And that would be the 19-year cycle, like I said, the death of Nipsey Hussle and the media blackout that did not allow me to give you guys this information at that time. So here we are, a year past the 25th anniversary, and I did drop a lecture for my private group, which I'll pull up a little. I should have something here that I could show y'all. edit it in a second.
While I'm doing that.
That lecture was called Matrix was released on a blue moon in 1999. And that lecture was called The Blue Moon is the Blue Pill. Now, why would I say the blue moon is the blue pill? Because as you saw here, the definition that they're giving you of blue moon is that you have 2 full moons in a month. But that's impossible. That's an artificial construct because the word month comes from moon. So what you have here is 2 months. So that means that your present calendar is an artificial construct that keeps you from being able to align with reality. Hence the matrix again, and we'll go deep into that in Movie Monks, and we're going to give you guys the opportunity to get the full breakdown of the matrix and what it's saying to you. That still at this point, 26 years later.
All right, pause right there. So if the blue moons are the blue pill, then the blood moons are the red pill. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the red pill? What did it do to Neo? I have that up as well. So let me give you that while we're switching these gears. All right, so we're going to stop this share and we're just going to play that scene because I want y'all to hear it. When Neo finishes to take the red pill, Morpheus, as he's being hooked up to the machines, Morpheus says something to him. See if I can find it. Here it goes. Neo takes the red pill. Boom. And we're going to share that now. So Neo takes the red pill. All right, let me play that. So he just took the red pill with him being hooked up to the machines, and there's something that Morpheus says to him to explain to you what the red pill actually is. I'm looking for it. I just had it. Where did it go? It must be this one. Yes. Okay, press play.
You did all this?
The pill you took is part of a trace program.
Pause.
It's designed to disrupt your input-output carrier signal so we can pinpoint your location.
Pause. All right. I don't know if I turned the audio off earlier or not, but the main thing I wanted y'all to hear is that the pill that you took is part of a tracer program to disrupt your input-output signal so they could basically locate your body. So the blood moons giving you the ability to locate yourself in time and space on this planet correctly. Knowing what, and the sun also, because you need to know the time of day as well for some higher level calculations. But the sun, the moon, the star were put in the sky for the keeping of appointments. What are you looking to be appointed to? What powers do you need to deal with what's coming that you don't have? And we can get into the female being natural and automatically powered up because her biggest power is the ability to create the bodies that the gods navigate this realm in. What is your ability? Because it's obvious. She's the throne, wear the crown. We control the electrical impulse, the thoughts, and are able to make the thoughts immediately come about, whereas she creates the physical. They work together. That's just my take. So when you have the knowledge that the blood moons are giving you, and of course everything is not going to, we only have like 20 minutes left, there's much more that can be calculated from these cycles. As a matter of fact, I spoke to you about it. We can do another part where I show the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill and how that is from the moon cycles. Each step in that pyramid, it's a 13-step
Mayan or Mesoamerican pyramid. It's not an Egyptian pyramid. And each step is equal to 19 years, which is the generational metonic. And when you calculate that out from the bottom Roman numeral, which is 1776, you end up at the top of the pyramid at 2023, which is the latest of three sacrifices. 9/11 in 2001, 9 years later, because that's the cycle of completion is 9, you have 2010, and let's do the numbers. 9/11, approximately 3,000 people were sacrificed. 9 years later, 2010, Haitian earthquake, January 12, 2010.
Be careful with the next word. Don't mention the word by name. You gotta put it in code on YouTube.
Okay. You have 2010, the disaster that I just spoke about. You had
that's cool. I'm talking about in 2019. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. And then of course you guys can, extrapolate the next step if you do, because that's 100x upgrade from 3,000 to 300,000. So if the pattern is correct and we're calculating correctly, that means 9 years later, you have a 30 million blood sacrifice at the top of the pyramid. That correlates to 2023. 2019 to 2023 is the top of the pyramid. And that was a sacrifice that's still ongoing to meet the number quote.
Right. C19.
Boom.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't know what the numbers are thus far, but we know the gate said they're not enough.
Correct.
Not enough.
Absolutely. And hence we had to add some players off the bench, like the little, not little, I don't want to belittle that at all, but you know what I'm talking about. In the so-called Holy Land as well as elsewhere, to bolster the numbers so that they can complete their agenda, so that their endeavor can be complete. Right? That's all on that ritualistic contract called the dollar bill. We can go deeper into that at another time. So that's the next part of what I wanted to share.
Yeah, but we here. We got about 20 minutes left. I want you to, wrap it up and bring it home. Once again, like I said, we are in the throes of the blood moon. You gave an amazing presentation about how to utilize real-time measurements to identify where we're at time-wise. Now what? Now that they have that information, how do they pivot this maze? How do they use the X and Y axis coordinates to not only identify where they're at, like you said, to because in time immemorial, that's what we did. We measured our orientation to the stars, and we had different reasons, right? Some of them were agricultural, some of them were for travel, some of them were for geography, like where do we build at, right? At this particular propitious time, as we said, I remember getting off the mountain, and the last thing that I read, a proclamation from scripture said, build the ark and prepare, for the times of Noah are coming. And I know that 6 days later, it started flash flooding around this country. I know that in 2 weeks, they had 1,000 floods. Whew. Then to build an ark in that, I know around the world it started flooding. I know that this is the 20th anniversary of a flood that told us what it looks like when you're not ready. So there's a proverbial meaning for floods, and then there's a literal meaning for floods. Being that this moon governs bodies of water specifically as well. Again, now that we know, or we have a sense coordination wise how to properly align ourselves to magnetic fields to pull down our intention out of the universe to serve us. What now? Like, how do they take this information? What can they do this very minute? What should their observations for the night be as this new moon energy is lingering? Um, yes. What are your thoughts?
All right.
How do they
So
prepare?
I'm gonna give another gift. I told you I'm bearing a ton of gifts today. So there's another cipher that I want to bring up. And I know that we won't be able to do it here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my Movie Monks YouTube channel that I even remembered I had. Remember we were talking about that yesterday. I said I need to make a Movie Monks channel. Had it already, and it had 7. Okay, I'm gonna end it with that. Show the code again. But I had 7 subscribers on that channel. That's how much you know it wasn't even promoted or anything like that. But I knew eventually it would be. I'm going to show and prove through videos that I'll put on that channel that will give more information. And one of the things I want to give is what I call the golden cipher. And that's biblical because to me, the Bible is full of codes, just full of codes. So we'll go, since this is the Law 44 with Blue Pillow 44, Malachi 4:4, the last book of the Old Testament, says what? The Son of God rises with righteousness in its wings, right? And they spelt it S-U-N in the book. So my company, CMC Synergy for Health, is going to be gifting my Sun Pearls protocol that I'll put up videos to show what I was able to do in terms of healing my broken bones, and even my face was peeled like a grape 3 years ago from an oil burn, and it healed in 1 week because of the level of vitamin D that I was able to ingest. That right now, still, there's only one other person who's a protege of mine that has the protocol to ingest these levels. And she's doing things with Eileen Bay right now. We'll speak about that in the future. But I'm doing retreats, and I'm gifting people access to those retreats because the gifts have to be done. So go into the explanation of what I'm saying is a code in the Bible. The Sermon on the Mount spoke about 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread that fed the multitude of 5,000. Correct? All right. Those 2 fish are Pisces. So I'm going to reveal how that's supposed to be used through application of such, and then showing the results, because I'm not the one to just be debating about this is my doctrine versus your doctrine. That's redundant, and I don't even want to say a word negative anymore. Let's just focus on what actually works, what can produce results in this physical realm, and then we can focus on what we should be on. So I'm going to show and prove on that. I've already spoken a little bit about what the men need to do during their particular exclamation point. And I have the Qigongs to ignite that rise in the so-called Kundalini energy to prepare them. And let's not get this twisted. It's not for everyone. You can't just do this like that person I told you. They had power naturally, but they were nefarious with it. So this is not for those who are nefarious. It has to have a certain tinge of righteousness to be able to aim properly. You can't, it's safeguards. So the information is being released now on what you need to do, but it's being guarded still on multiple layers. But I'm releasing it because it's time. That same cycle that I've taken far in terms of knowing where we are in the timeline, besides only what they're saying, because that's what they would like to come about. So you got to deal with what they're already planning and putting in place, right? That same cycle is going to end in another year or so. You can see it all around you. They're crashing the money. They're changing the systems. And like I said, that conversation, I do recommend that y'all look it up. I think it was called again, Neuralink is a Mark of the Beast. the ChatGPT said that it's a 7-step program. We're on step number 3. Step number 5, I believe, was called integration, where a lot of people are going to accept that Neuralink. Another movie that's in the the queue for movie monks is Lawnmower Man, a very old movie. But if y'all just look at the trailer for Lawnmower Man, y'all see a Nokian script in the trailer being flashed subliminally back from the early 90s. A Nokian script. That's what so-called King Solomon used to control demons and make them do his bidding. Feel me? So it's a plethora of things that we need to do. But I'm just touching on a few points.
Be specific because we have an amazing opportunity tonight with this energy. I don't want to inundate them with too much information that they can't do anything with. And I'm not saying the echoes of things that may potentially come about are not right and exact. They got a program. The program is full swing underway. It's obvious, you know. But once again, with this information in this moment, now that they know their measurements or they have an idea, what can they do? Because they can't get to underground bunkers. They
No,
can't,
that's not the move. That's not what we're
I'm just
doing.
saying,
We're not hiding like
said
rats.
yeah, I'm just saying we got a little bit of time to import a lot of information regarding direction. I want to make sure that we leave them with something that's tangible and it brings this conversation full circle like the moon.
The first thing I must say is this is to the men specifically because they have a higher in this physical realm. Because again, I don't want to get into my personal belief of what's going on and what I've experienced. But in this physical realm, the men have a higher responsibility to lead properly. And that has, I'm going to end when I play the last clip here. It's going to be from another movie called The Seventh Son. And when I went looking for this particular clip, I saw codes that are undeniable. So what I just spoke about in terms of the blood moons and the tetrad was 7777, 28-day cycle of the moon, right? Now, I'm going to show you when I pull up this clip, I'm going to leave the full screen with the stats of the clip, and you'll see that this particular YouTube channel has 7,000,077 subscribers. Movie Monks has 7 subscribers. Today is the 7th day of the Gregorian commercial calendar. These are what I talk about, that even within the construct, the codes are clear. You can't make it up. I found this clip. I was like, man, what's that clip? What do I have to put in to find that clip? Because I didn't have the movie yet. And I will get the movie and upload it for them to watch the whole movie, The Seventh Son. But I want to just play that. I know I'm not answering your question directly, but there's more that has to be made, because this is not microwave, like boom, boom. What the men can do is, number one, find out when your exclamation point is and pay homage to the knowledge.
To give them instructions, how do they do that again? How do they find the
have to retain the semen, and then learn certain qigongs that I will begin to reveal that will allow them to raise the kundalini, or the energy, from the sacral bone from the sacrum to the cerebral spinal fluid, which was originally the amniotic fluid. And there's even research and knowledge about that coming from university level, high level Ivy League knowledge that I'm holding that speaks about this. And combined with the Chinese knowledge that I have, you can actually do this and become, but you do also need a high level of vitamin D in your system, because that is the anointing oil. Vitamin D3 is derived from lamb's wool. The oil of the lamb's wool. This is not coincidence that you have now people experiencing a glow or a fire in their head when they take the right protocols that I've developed and is now being even more. And I sent you the link last night. I don't know if you got a chance to peep, what's being presented, but I have it and my people have it, and I can show and prove what is done. That's what's kept me, and I'm now going full blast back in it to prove personally. I have my own challenge that's going to show and prove at 62. Like, how am I doing that? So that's what we need to do as men. All right.
You going to play another video, you said?
Yes.
How long is that video?
Pulling it up right now. Oh, where are you, video? All right, I'm just going to pull it up any old way. That's why I had it here. I don't know where it went. But let's go ahead and you can pull it up this way. All right. Okay, I believe this is the right video. Okay, pause. I'm going to do this correctly. And I've got it queued up. Give me a sec to switch this share. And we can end it with this, and I'll say one thing about why I played this after it plays. Okay. Boom. All right. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I said I was going to leave this up, so let me show you what I mean. As y'all can see, this is Joe Blow movie clips. This is the opening scene from Seventh Son, and do realize that that's 2014, the same time of the first blood moon, April 2014 for the first blood moon. Right? Then if I give you more info, it says that. So why would they say 2014 when down here it says the release date for the movie was February 6, 2015, still within the blood moon, the 4 tetrads. Right? Just want to point that out before I play it. And now that I've pointed that out, let's go back and play it.
Have mercy. Release me. Gregory.
ring the bell. So, why did I play this? Because what happened when you get into the movie, I have to give a little spoiler alert here. You're talking about a woman who loved basically what is representative of a crusader, a Knights Templar. That's what this represents. And if you know, we talked about that the other day, Friday the 13th, that's what the connection was when I told you October 13th, which is one of my offspring's birthday, October 13th, 1307. And for a second, you know, the synapse didn't fire. Then you say, oh, yeah, I should have known what you meant. That was the original Black Friday where they roasted the Knights Templars at the stake, the church, right? And they got this guy's name, Gregory, like Pope Gregory, the Gregorian calendar. And you saw time, but eventually the blood moons released her. But now she's against him because he imprisoned her when they should be together. But he's fighting some religious crusade against her. That's what's happening with us. We need to get it back together. Her power and our power correctly. Well, there's nothing that could stand against us. We don't have to be like rats in a hole in a bunker. It's not even a fight. But the AI right now, when it comes on board against our present version that is doing what we're doing with red balloons and whatnot, Black Moon. Speaking of Black Moons, one last one before we end. Between those two moons I showed you in January 2018 and March 2018, you had a Black Moon that they call a Black Moon. I told you that's their constructs. And that was February had no moon, which again is impossible. We mean no full moon. But that's exactly when we released Black Panther on the new moon, or the young moon, I should say, the first day of the moon, February 16th. No coincidence. And I have more, but this is not the time and place when I talk about children that were born around that time with special messages for us.
Yes.
So that's why I got to pause it.
Yes, we are definitely past our 2-hour mark.
222. Hey.
Shared the information with them in terms of what you want to give away, how you want to give it away, what qualifies the recipients of, the blessings, if you will. Who's going to receive this?
The benefactors.
Yes.
Now, when you said that, the 222 popped up. 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 22 seconds, really, 2222. But the 222 is very important. Like I said, I'm bringing a lot for the Haitians. January 1st coming up, so-called, is not going to be the same anymore. We're not celebrating these fake New Years. If Haitian independence is celebrated January 1st, that's accurate. Earth days and whatnot. But we're at 222 years exactly right now. May 18th, 1803 is when we really won Haitian Flag Day. January 1st, 1804 is just a formal celebration. But still, when January 1st, 2026 comes up, that's still 222 years from what we know as 18, right? Because everybody knows 1804. They don't acknowledge 1803. But when they came at you and took your birthright, they came at the flag and the crown. And I'm going to reveal that too. Look out for those things. I'll give announcements on Movie Monk's channel, which I'll put in the chat. We're at 222 years, and it's been echoing like crazy. And it took me a minute to see, what is this 222 that keeps echoing? We're here. 222 years, bro. And if you go again to the cycle,
I'm going to find out who gets the blessings, brother. Because I'm trying.
Yes. So I would like people to put in the comments what their ailments are. I'm going to give away 7 packages here in Florida. So I want to hear, and they could send me private messages if they don't want to put their business out there.
How are they going to get in contact with you?
Yeah, I'll put contact information in the comments again, where they could send it to me personally.
Tell me now. I'll put it in there because we got a real time.
All right, CMC. The IG is CMC S, the number 4, health.
CMC
S
S
4
4
health.
number 4, correct?
The number 4 health. And that's my IG. Y'all could also see my challenge I have for myself that I had to change to the December solstice because I wanted to do it for the summer solstice, but I've been doing business here in Miami, Airbnbs, and now I'm going to switch to retreats. We're going to do these retreats. People could come and stay with us. I'll reveal some things like, well, I could say this out loud. For the last 4 months, almost going on 4 months, your mom's has been with me, living at in Wynwood, Miami.
To ourselves.
Say again.
We're gonna keep that to ourselves.
Oh, my bad. What I told her I was gonna say that because we wanted to do a retreat where they have access to her at some point, as well as what I'm bringing to the table, which is my elder, who's 72 years old and has been. He's one of only 3 masters out of the biggest Chinese Kung Fu school in New York. And I'll be putting up videos of what that entails. But, I'm coming to the table as well with my experience, and I'm looking to show and prove by giving these packages to people who need them and to show what that actually means. You feel me?
Yes. So family, if you are in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Southern Florida area, and you have something substantial that you're dealing with and you want to get remedy, right? The brother's offering as an extension of the program this evening protocols. He has 7 protocols in total. If you or someone in your family directly is dealing with an ailment that you need immediate attention and concern to, please make sure that you hit our good brother up. You can contact him directly through his IG. Is it another way that they can reach out and contact you? Because not everybody on this platform is on Instagram. You're on mute, brother.
Okay. There's also the old Facebook. Oh, I'm muted.
I hear you now.
Okay. I still have the older Facebook up, which is also CMC Synergy for Health Facebook page.
Hold on, you got to tell me the exact address for that. Facebook.com/
/CMC4H, I believe.
4H.
Yeah, let me put it in and see. It's been a long time since I used that CMC4H, but if they search CMC Synergy for Health in the search bar, it should come up.
So you want me to put that, or you want me to put the address? Because I can only put one.
Oh, I would say search CMC Synergy for Health.
CMC Synergy for Health.
Yeah. Search. And it should pull up. When you see a green, I'll pull it up here and show what it looks like.
CMC Energy for Health.
CMC Synergy
for Health.
Right.
For health, right?
Yeah.
All one word or separate?
It's separate words because it's just the title of the page. So if they, like I said, if they go into Facebook and they pull that up, it should be, it should pull up. But I'm going to do it live. If you, let's see if we could share the screen again so they could see me pull it up. Let me just pull up a Facebook page first. One moment. Facebook. Okay, let's switch to this. And I also show my Facebook page either directly on this Facebook page. Let me switch that. Add
CMCS. All right.
Share screen, and I'm ready to show the page. So either one of these 2 pages would work. So this is Facebook page, Calm Monks, or Calm Monk, I should say. And I don't know if they see that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So if they look for Calm Monk, I'm gonna start promoting that page now that I'm no longer just in the private and we're out in the public. but also if they search now and put in, there it is right here, CMC Synergy for Health, the number 4, and you see that Buddha, that green Buddha, the line, that's either one of those they could send me a message on.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my face when I burnt it. And this was literally, oh, it's not going to show you that right now, but I will show you at the next day. This one over here is the very next day. That's the very next morning. I still have the same shirt on.
I'm sorry, but every time I see that picture, I feel it. That shit,
And wait till you see the video. I'm not going to play it here now, but I'm going to move that to the top of the feed so they could see the video, you know, and the training. When we're back on the training. Remember what you talked about, the forearm? The 4-4?
Yes,
that's when the power starts to build. I agree with you.
Yes,
and I'll put up the video of my face or my healing less than a week later from that first picture where I was
crying
yeah, because it's not what people think, bro.
Your client jumping over there in the corner like that.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, because people think it's only, you know, there's levels to this. It's all. That's why I put that up. And I know, you know, not dominatrix with the dad bod, that's off the hook. You know, but we want the aesthetics as well. Why not? But yeah, that's just looping right now, crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of things, you know. There's little posts on there that they could benefit from. When I first healed my foot, that was one exercise I started doing, 50 of those a day.
That's crazy right there.
And when you go to CMC Synergy for Health IG, you'll see, you know, what I've done in the past at my 10 years ago at 52 and now at 62. There's some interesting posts here. I just haven't been keeping up with this site, but I'm going to start posting more things here. You feel me?
What's the site for the movies? You got to drop that too.
It's going to be Movie Monks. There's a link that'll take y'all to my personal platform. I'll put all of that in the chat tonight, in the comments tonight.
Where is it at? I don't see it.
So I can't put it yet. I'll show you what it looks like.
Where you gonna put it at then?
Hold on. Let me log in real quick. Give me a sec, so I can log in and I'll show you what it is. Because I have to clean up that site. It wasn't Movie Monks before. It was everything.
Bro, you told these people you was gonna have a link drop for them by the end of the night, man. That's what
yes, yes, definitely by the end of the night.
Say you're gonna give them because they're gonna ask me, and I don't have the
I promise you, it will be in the chat tonight. Definitely, you know, by midnight or so.
That's not how that works, bro. This is here and now, my ninja. You don't get a second chance at this. They're not coming back. It's here. You got to drop it when you say it, man. It's real time, man. You are on the highway, my nigga. You can't talk about, I'm going to jump off the highway and jump back on the highway. That's how people lose themselves.
All right. I'm trying to give them a shorter link because it's a long URL. So it's not going to be easy to do, but I'll give the URL now. They can go there. I'll give them the Age of Ultron link. I'll put that in the chat right now.
Where does it? It's a YouTube channel.
I'm pulling it up now. Give me a second. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah. To remember these passwords.
Yeah, you know.
Because I already uploaded Age of Ultron for them.
I get chewed up in the comments for being direct. I'm like, I know what this is. I've been doing.
No worries. All right, let me switch the screen. Let me switch the screen, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm switching the screen right now so they could see. This is my social media platform. That's not on YouTube, so it is not abrogated in no way, shape, or form. So I'm going to pull up that for them, and I'll put the link. I could put the link right now, actually, to the Age of Ultron. They could watch that right now. It's just that I was going to put a shorter URL tonight, but give me a sec. Pulling it up. Boom.
Copy the link and put
there you go. I'm putting it right now. So that's what it looks like. It's been up for years. I just haven't promoted it or developed it, but I'm going to do that now. That's what the site looks like. All right. Can y'all see that? Right. And so the only thing left to do right now is grab the link for Age of Ultron. I could play it right now and y'all see that it'll play a little bit. Let's see if it's here.
The chat.
Yeah, there's a couple other things. But there's all kinds of movies already fully uploaded here. Ultron versus the Watcher, that was a What's If. That's a very heavy one for us to build. All of these are already uploaded for them to have access to. And it will be free for them to access at least for the next week. And I'm going to build big on, I'm going to drop heavy things between now and then. So I know I uploaded Age of Ultron, but I have to look for it because I was rushing to get this presentation together. So as soon as I come off the screen, I'll put the link up because it's already here. I just have to find it. But definitely, okay, you know what link I'm going to put up right away for them to watch? Because this is going to be the next one right here, and that's Daybreakers. Daybreakers is going to be the first, very first. Let me
Bro,
see.
just put it wherever it is.
Yeah.
Please just put it in the chat for them so they can stop asking me.
Yeah, it'll be in the chat. It'll be in the chat within the hour.
It can't be in the chat with. We are here in real time. I don't know what dimension that you're speaking about time wise when you have an hour after this. Like when it's done, it's done. We have to get the link to them now. So
The link will be in the
and
chat. The link will be in the comments. I just can't find it right now. I looked for it, but I just uploaded Age of Ultron, and I'll give them
the link to this right here. Just drop it in the chat so they can go and save the page, and then they'll come back. But they need something to hinge on while they're here. That cuts. You know, like when they say you got to keep the customers that you have because it's 90% harder to gain a new customer other than to have a repeat customer. They teach this, that's what they teach us in business. And that's why they overemphasize customer service because they're like, look, if you have somebody in your store, if you have somebody in your funnel, if you have somebody in business, you can never let that person go with the hopes that they're either going to come back or you're guaranteed to get another customer. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way that I feel about our people to show up, to view our programs and our patrons. I have to make sure that whatever's promised to them has to be delivered because that always falls back on us. You know what I'm saying? And we have to hold any and everybody that comes on this platform to a standard because then other people think that they could come up here and not be 100% prepared. And this particular platform holds, a particular standard that yeah, when people come up here, they know exactly how to engage and interact with these beautiful people that are part of our audience. And, I want to make sure once again, because they're gonna be in my DMs. And I don't want to have the
all right.
wrong response to anybody. You know what I mean?
I'm just making sure that this link is going to work since
Yeah, we have to we have to you know we got to make sure that we're making good on our promises to these people.
All right. So the link here that will take them to that page is expertise.tv/organizations/CMCS9. I don't know if y'all can see that on the screen.
Bro, you gotta drop it in the chat, man. What are you talking
In the
about?
chat. Okay, so I'm copying it right now. And since this is my first time on here, I thought it was just comments. But studio chat? Is that what I need to drop it at? Chat with everybody in the studio? Okay, paste. That's the link to the page.
Dope. Got it. Um, I don't see it yet, but that's the idea is here to get it in the chat. Let me see. Start.
It says private chat, or should I put comments?
That private chat comments, yeah,
Okay,
I believe.
comments. Join the chat and connect your YouTube. Okay, it's my first time, people, so give me a sec. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm gonna try my best. So we're
Okay.
gonna go here.
Yeah, and let me be the first to tell you because it is your first time. You have done an amazing job. I want to thank, I want to congratulate you, but I
I
also
appreciate you, brother.
the accountability partner. Yeah, I have to tell you what it's like because these streets are unfriendly. I'm very I feel like I'm being very patient with you. I don't even get the same regard amongst my peers on these streets on these internet streets. The traffic moves fast, man, and they be like, and then I'm on panels with 4 or 5 other people competing for airtime. So it's like you gotta have your elevator pitch gotta be ready, ready. That's at least what I'm used to. My nervous system is built like that because of my experiences in these internet streets. You feel me?
Hmm.
And I know places they will run over you, you know, if you don't maintain a particular pace, or a willingness to have a knowledge base to know this stuff. They're not gonna want to hear nothing else that you gotta say. That's just how this particular paradigm is set up now. So you gotta know how to drop a link.
It's not. It's saying, "Whoops, we're having trouble connecting to your YouTube account." So it's in a
So we
private
don't.
one. If you want to screenshot it and
I don't.
copy it
Yeah, I
and
don't
put
see
it.
it in private. Okay, I see private chat. I'm gonna
Okay,
drop it. There we
private
go.
chat. Yeah,
I
it's in
got
the
it. Yeah,
private chat.
I'm gonna drop it. I grab it right here. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna pin it. Comments. All right, y'all.
I'm seeing the chats now. I'm like, whoa! I didn't know all that was going on. I didn't know. It said that Scorpio moves too fast for Taurus. I'm not. I ain't mad.
Don't listen to that.
It's all
The
good.
the I think I
Scorpio,
think I think
Scorpio
I think
compliments
Scorpio.
Taurus.
I think Scorpio and Taurus is the allegorical story about the hare and the tortoise.
Well, I'm also
You feel
year the
me?
rabbit in the Chinese myth.
I'm the year to rabbit too. So we
Are
both the
you?
year to rabbit.
All
I
right.
am. I'm
All right.
75, but I move more like a tortoise. I'm a late bloomer, slow mover. I take my time, and I've always finished, on time. So I I resonate more with the tortoise. Hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm
But
bugs in
yeah,
some ways. I'm definitely bugs.
we have it dropped. It's in the chat. It's on the screen. Um, and
And family, please forgive me because I have not been on that. I just went back to that site today after years. So that's why I wanted to tweak it a little bit beforehand, but I wasn't allowed to. But I did upload Age of Ultron, and that's the one that's going to be the first one that we'll go in on starting tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to do something on that. Age of Ultron versus Age of Aquarius.
'cause I was finna go upstairs after this. I got my popcorn with my vegan butter. I got vegan butter, right? And I was
So
finna go
y'all gonna
watch
have me
Age of
tweaking
Ultron.
real quick so they
I
don't say
gotta
what
catch
the
up.
hell.
I gotta catch up on it. I gotta catch up on Age of Ultron and Jarvis. I wanted to tighten up. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Right.
he said he got an HD too. I could put it on big screen.
Yes, sir. It's
So
definitely it was at
yeah,
least 1080. It's at least 1080. Um, but
like the
yeah, that
family
needs to
said,
be gone over for sure and be clear
we,
because we're here 9 years later, 11 years later, right? And we're much deeper into that cipher. You feel me?
yeah, shout out
Much
to
deeper.
KT. Hopefully we can get y'all two together because he does immaculate Hollywood breakdowns, but specifically the Marvel universe. He has a classic he did on the Winter Soldier. I think that needs to be revisited. Um, but definitely Age of Ultron, you know, and
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 you spoke
again,
about the Tesseract. Don't forget, inside of Loki's scepter was the first Infinity Stone that used to be in the Tesseract.
Well, the
Pause.
entire Marvel universe is built around a cosmic cube, which that they call the Tesseract, the cosmic cube. Um, Loki's entire series is built around a cosmic cube because he's a
And it's
time
time,
traveler.
right?
And again, and I can spin through my lecture again, but I stand on my irrefutable claims, right? That time is a cube that governs this dimension of matter. And I don't, again, I don't debate that. I just demonstrate that and let somebody argue with, let them go and wrestle with numbers. I'm out of the mix. I'm just here just to make the vocal projections to say, look, look, look. You can't argue and wrestle with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where we at with it. The people said you need a YouTube though because
That's the
they
movie
want
Monks. It was already there. It's got, like I said, I pulled that one up again. I'm not, like I said, I had done it a while ago, so I'm trying to figure out how to let y'all know. But okay, y'all will see it from here.
So
Let me
yeah,
pull this back up. Hold up. So it's movie Monks, and I'm about to pull that screen up as well. And I'm going to be loading a lot on that, but what can't be loaded on that will be on that private social media page, expertise.tv. So let me stop this and then add. And family, bear with me. This is I'm trying to get up to speed, because this is moving extremely fast when I'm not at all used to it. Let's see. Boom. Yeah. So share that so they could see it. It's up here. There's only 7 subscribers on this channel, but the Joe Blow that I played that clip from Seventh Son has 7,000,000.77. And when I saw that and I found this, I said, "Oh yeah, I had this already." I realized that the code was speaking about the 4 blood moons, 7 days apart, 28 days. Boom. That's the echo.
yes, family. So movie monks is the YouTube,
Yeah, did
right?
y'all see that? It's on the top right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, movie
That's the
monks,
at
right?
right there. Movie M.O.N.K.S6710.
And good
And by the
luck.
way, just to let y'all know that it's all like layered. So monk stands for mastering and overstanding new knowledge and systems. It's all layered. It just keeps going in and deeper and deeper. So as time goes by, it'll be revealed, but it's really about application. It's not just fluff. So y'all will see, and
Yes,
yeah, I'm gonna put up some mind body stuff later today
yes.
or tomorrow, sometime before the
So
week
once
is out.
again, I want to say thank you. I want to say again, congratulations on an amazing first show. I'm sure that you are going to sit down and observe it. And next time, you know, we'll be able to ebb and flow, lightning speed. Again, like I said, everything is martial arts. Everything is inhale and exhale. It's a flow and a frequency. I just want you to get yourself to look at everything in life like that. So, once so we can be not only keepers of time, but respectful of time as well. With 30 minutes over, right? Ebb and flow, right? Everything is a cosmic dance. In and out of this meter of measurement called a second, you got to find where the first is at. So we have to learn our own biorhythms to move accordingly to time, coinciding with our own time. We don't move on a second, we move on a different metric. So, with that being said, again, I want to say thank you and I appreciate this information, this opportunity to grow with you. And I want you to leave the people with something compelling that they also can grow with underneath this magnetic, magnificent, magnanimous blood moon.
So I'd like to shout out Chief Elder H. Costell, which I'll be doing a video of who he is. That's my elder for now, almost 40, actually exactly 44 years right now, because I started at 18 years old on my birthday.
Mhm.
So I just realized 44 years that I've been with Chief Elder. He's been holding down my school in Brooklyn right now. Classes are on Saturday. He just lost his father, who reached 96 years old. And so yesterday was the funeral. So there was no classes yesterday. But next Saturday, if you all want to come through, let me know. And I'll put up a video of who he is and what we do. And that's Warriors of the Sun Fighting Arts, or WATSFA. And I'll let you hear a salutation from there and a warrior's prayer. And mind you, you're going to hear the words, but he's codified it in movement as well. So the first one goes like this. First and foremost, there must be mutual understanding. Out of that understanding, we seek to establish trust and respect. Thus we say, yours in faith and in the light of truth. Come from your heart. Follow the guidance of your inner mind. Let the light of truth be our guide as we relate to one another. Then we can therefore say the ground that we touch, the space that we train, work, or live in, becomes sacred as long as we come and go with the best of intentions. In the light of peace, let justice abound. And by the way, and you know this, Blue, my son is named Justice, and he's 26 years old right now. I've been with this a long time. He was named after that verse. And my grandson is named Ame, which stands for rain in Japanese, and he's 7 years old as of April. So it's a lineage, right? I'm the only one of the elders that's deep right now. And I'm very proud of that because my son trains and my grandson will be training very soon because they're in Italy right now. They're traveling. So, warrior's prayer in the name of the Most High. And remember this is all form, right? And it's authentic, true Shaolin, not the acrobatic stuff that you're seeing, because they don't want you to know. They want to tell you that the traditional can't work. That's because it's power in it.
Finish,
in the name of the Most High, shout out Chief Elder. Shout out all the elders in and out of state. In the name of the Most High, in the name of the ancestors, from my heart, I extend to you my sun and my moon, my wisdom and my love, my strength and my softness. I bear witness as it is above, so it is below, of the body, of the mind, but forever in the spirit. O most merciful, compassionate Creator, if it be our will and mercy this day, may we walk with certainty as we face the beast within and the beast without. We forever remain yours in faith and in the light of truth. In the light of peace, let justice abound. One heart, many minds expressed as one. Peace, family.
Bush, I share y'all. And on that note, all right, family, I want to say peace, love, and light. Appreciate you. And we will see you on the next go around, y'all. Peace.
All right, one heart.
Peace.
Vegas and crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped nose, acting gay up in Cisco. Man, take the day off and play up at Mistos, causing chaos and play up Calypso. I pause in kitchens and caused addictions. I pause prescriptions and cause inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores and Brixton on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bumpton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not from Vegas and crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck sounds. Every player gets lips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up for pistols, causing chaos and play a calypso. Hickory dickory down, hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the meadow, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light air, lift off the rock. Toe from the right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Players in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in discos. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck sounds. Every player gets lips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up for pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso.